Live from Sellersville, it's Saturday night. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. My name's Dan. This is Soundbooth Sessions. I'm here at the wonderful Sellersville Theater, and this is our weekly live stream show where we feature a concert and a conversation with one of our favorite acts. I'm thrilled to have you here. Welcome. If this is your first Soundbooth session, please say something, and an usher will be around to give you a little flower for your lapel. Oh, wait. No, but please let us know in the comments if you're joining us for the first time, and welcome. Thank you for being here. And let's see. Let's also extend a big welcome and a big thank you to any Sellersville Theater members who are out there in the crowd. Hi, guys. We love you. We miss you. We wish you were here, but we're so glad you're there. And thank you, of course, for your support. For the rest of you, this evening's performance, of course, is coming to you without a ticket price. It is pay what you please. That does not mean that it is free. We hope that you will support our artists and the Sellersville Theater in whatever ways you are capable of. Some ideas for you. You could click around the screen a lot, give us a lot of hearts, a lot of thumbs up, or whatever emoji best expresses whatever you're feeling in that particular moment. Of course, your comments are great. I'll be watching the comments section, and if there's something notable, I will call it out. I'll share some of your energy with Vanessa, try to pass that on up to the stage for you. The moderator, by the way, is Allison Faga, so she'll be responding to you down there during the show, and of course, if you are capable of doing so, please make sure to visit the Venmo and PayPal links, which you can find in the event description, which I believe is on that side of the screen, somewhere over there. Click around, and you'll find the event description, which will have Vanessa's Venmo, her PayPal. Also links to the Sellersville Theater Venmo and PayPal, and ways that you can become a Sellersville Theater member or a sponsor if you are so interested. And of course, all this evening's tips will be split between the artist and the venue. So thank you very much in advance for all the different ways that you show your support for the show. Now would be a great time to start a watch party if you know how to do that, or send a little message over to your friends and see if you can get some more eyeballs on this show, and tell everybody how excited you are for this show this evening. I know I am. We have a great audience going so far. Nilsa Faga's in the house waiting for the show. Hello, Aunt Nilsa. Peter, hi, V, Pecky, and Nana from New Jersey. Cindy Rogers-Farley is waiting for the show to start. Everybody, thank you for the claps already. Bill Slade, we love you. Patricia Johnston, first time. She loves Vanessa. Well, this is going to be special. All right. Ladies and gentlemen in the comments section, please get ready to click on the thumbs up or the heart emoji or the clap emoji to welcome this evening's talented performers. Let's see. She's the 2020 Blues Music Award winner for Horn Player of the Year, which she also won in 2019. She's here to promote her brand new album, which was released yesterday, called Heart on the Line. I can't wait to hear some of the music from it. This is going to be great. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to Vanessa Collier.
Everybody's talking about their whiskey, complain about their women. I don't like either one. I like a good loving man, making lemonade, honey. Both of them melting away into the hot summer sun. I want to live a life without complaining, living richer than a billionaire. All that hot air you're busting in with should be locked up in a Frigidaire. Well, you say you're evil when you're with me. Oh, but you're jealous when we're apart. I'm always foot stomping mad when I'm with you, 'cause you're always making things so gosh darn hard. up for Arthur Nielsen, y'all. All right, now hang out on that one for me, all right? Just like that. Woo. And ladies, if you in the house and you ever had a man do you wrong, well, this is what you should have said. I got 2 tears to shed for your honey, one for each nice thing you ever done. For as much as I've had to pay for your love, I'm gonna call that toll-free number, request a refund. I can't stand your constant crying, whining, weeping, wearing me down all the time. And pleading with me ain't gonna get you nowhere, 'cause I've gone deaf, dumb, and blind. Oh. I know. Sweating already. Thank you. Thank you, Dan. All right. It is a pleasure to be here, y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in. And thank you for the lovely messages from last night's show and getting ready for this one, too. It is my pleasure to be here with Mr. Arthur Nielsen from Shamika Copeland's band. Fantastic guitar player. It is so much fun to be back out here. And we're going to do this one for you. One of my favorites. It's off my very first record, I Can't Stand the Rain. I can't stand the rain against my window, bringing back sweet memories. Hey, window pane, do you remember how sweet it used to be? And when we were together, everything was so grand, yes. But now that we've parted, it's just a one sound that I just can't stand. I can't stand the rain against my window, bringing back sweet memories. I can't stand the rain. No, 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 no. I can't stand the rain, 'cause she's not here with me, no. Along with the pillow where his head used to lay. I know you got some sweet memories, but like a window, you ain't got no a one sound I just can't stand. No, I can't stand the rain. No, hey. Against my window, it keeps on haunting me. Yeah. I can't stand the rain. No, 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 no. I can't stand the rain, 'cause he not here with me. No. So I say, hey, rain. Hey, rain. Oh, I say, get off my window pane. Come on.
Oh, yes. Vanessa Collier, you sound fantastic. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome to the show. The comment section is loving this, as am I, as is Robbie, our cameraman. I see him; he's dancing down there. Let me share some of this. We got lots of clapping going on. William J says hello from Bloomsburg, PA. Martha Voorhees gives us a dancer and a rose and some music notes. It's a very creative expression of her enthusiasm. Donna Broughton says, preach, Vanessa. I think that was for the first song. Cindy Rogers Farley, play that sax, loving it. There's some sax emojis, some hearts, some fire, some flames. I think communicating that your sax playing is fire. I believe that's what that was.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So, Vanessa, congratulations on the release of your newest album. Tell me, how does it feel to have it out?
Oh, man, it feels amazing. I crowdfunded this one, too, so the crowdfunders have had it for about a month or so, something like that.
What does that mean for you in terms of like a normal model? Like for somebody who doesn't crowdfund,
sure.
What's the difference?
Sure. Well, I think most artists have to go through a record label through crowdfunding, which is basically just asking people to donate a little bit extra for the CD, or there's numerous packages, then they get extra little perks for sure.
And what kind of perks were you offering?
T-shirts. We have got some home concerts. I believe
that's
I owe
nice.
3 people home concerts, as well as some water bottles, just, some good merch, handwritten note, that kind of stuff.
Hey, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
How long have you been working on this record?
So we recorded it in the first week of January up in Maine. So that was the beginning of the recording process. And some of the songs have been in, the back of my head, pieces of them for a couple years, and they finally came out. So, and then other ones were written, the day before we went into rehearsals. So it kind of depends.
That's amazing. Now I did hear that it was originally planned to come out later. It was going to come out in September, and then circumstances being what they are, most of the people I've talked to have decided not to release their record and to wait, and you're releasing it early.
Yes.
Why is that?
I think, I have so many other records in my head of ideas that I want to get started, and I figured this one's done and I love it, and I just want people to hear it, regardless of the fact that we may not be able to tour on it this year, but I love this record so much, and the people that played on it and everything. It just seems like, why hold it back, Yeah,
that's fantastic. Well, so now what for those who may be familiar with your back catalog, what's new about this one? What was going through your head, and what ideas are you exploring?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is I kind of went back to my roots a little bit, which is I grew up hearing country music, and country music is a lot of story songs, much like the blues. You know, that's how they tie together. You know, they both love to tell stories, and I love a group, the Wood Brothers. I'm sure you guys are familiar. Yeah, right.
Oh, so much.
They're amazing, and I've seen them live, and I think they're my favorite live group. And I love that sort of like small group setting, but that you can also build horns and build everything up on top of. So a lot of it was just taking the story and letting everything else guide it and support the lyric. That was really important to me on this record. So, and it was also, I thought it was time for, some of the songs are more laid back. You know, my first three, I really wanted to make a statement, and it was like, I'm here. Mm-hmm. And this one, I really wanted to, yeah, I'm still here, but I also had this other side to me as well. So
now, did you write all the lyrics on the record?
8 of the 11, I wrote the lyrics and the music for. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I like it that way.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I can't wait to hear it. Who are some of the players that have been on it?
Yeah, so William Gorman is on keys.
Yeah.
Nick Stevens, who's my touring drummer, he's on it, as well as Scott Sutherland is on bass with my touring bassist CeCe Ellis, and Cornell Williams from John Cleary's band, all on bass. Laura Chavez is on guitar. All the guitar work is her, minus the slide stuff. And then Doug Wolverton is on trumpet. Quinn Carson's on trombone. Did I forget anybody? Drums, bass, guitar.
Yeah,
Piano.
no pressure.
I think I got it all.
Go down the whole list. That's
Yeah.
why. And why did you choose Maine? What's up in Maine?
Yeah, so it's a beautiful studio. I did my third record, Honey Up, there as well, and it was recommended by my college professor, who actually engineered the last 2 records. This one and the one previous. And he was like, this is a beautiful room, you know, we can get it for a good price, and I think it's really great to go and kind of get sequestered for a week and make a record. And that's what we've done for the last 2.
So you did the whole record in a week?
Yeah, I think it was like 6 days of basics, and then getting everybody else's overdubs. And then I find that my vocals are better, my horns, well, some of the horn playing is better if I do it from home. So I keep what I like from the studio. So I've kept a lot of the solos from the studio that are with the band and have that energy. But I love to be in my own little cozy little bedroom and record the vocals and the background vocals.
And do you stack all those on your own? Do you stack both the vocals and the horns?
Yep. Yeah. I love it. You know, it's like a fun little puzzle. Like, what could go here? What could go here?
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen. We could talk about this all night. I want to talk about your new record. Let's just talk about the Wood Brothers and how great they are.
Yes.
But no, I want to hear some of your music. Let's. Can you do one from the new record?
Absolutely.
Would that be all right?
Yeah, we're gonna do one. It was Arthur's favorite. I found out 2 days ago. He's like, I can't get this one out of my head, and it definitely was one of my favorites. I sat at home and wrote this one, and it's basically just being around. Sometimes, I mean, all of us has probably encountered someone who's not quite grateful for everything that they have, and they're constantly saying, I'll be happy when I have this, or when this happens. And, you know, I wanted to write to that and kind of just be like, hey, you know, it's possible to just open your eyes and anything can make you happy. You just have to look at it a different way, you know. So this is If Only. Stands a grumpy old man in the kitchen, fingers plugging up his ears. No, he don't listen now. He's got a big house and a good job, good family, the best mother-in-law, but he spends all his time wishing things were different. If only I was given the SARS. If only I was fed nothing but caviar. If only I could have everything I want, only then could I be happy. Well, maybe sometimes. Nagging his wife every second of the day, In all their years together, he's never once taken the blame. But you can bet when it's time to take the credit, he talks like an angel that fell from heaven. But he spends all his time wishing things were different. If only I was given the stars. If only I was fed nothing but caviar. If only I could have everything I want, only then could I be happy. Well, maybe sometimes I wish that you could see it, all the joy that's passing you by. Anything could make you happy if only you'd open your eyes. If only I was given the stars. If only I was fed nothing but caviar. If only I could have everything I want, only then could I be happy. If only I was given the stars. If only I was fed nothing but caviar. If only I could have everything I want, only then could I be happy. Well, maybe sometimes.
Beautiful. The comment section loved it. Tina Perry Pastor had said if only is her favorite off of the new record. She's been listening and really enjoying it.
Beautiful. Hi, Tina. Oh, yeah.
I see some people asking where the links are to the PayPal and the Venmo. If you scroll through the comment section, there is a pinned comment that has all of that information in it. And also, if you click over into the event description, which I believe is on the right side of your screen somewhere. If you're watching on an iPad, just, well, I don't know how to do it. Good luck. But find it.
It's there somewhere, waiting for you.
What's this you're holding on to there, Vanessa? Tell us about your guitar.
Yes. So this was my impulse buy. I have two others over there as well. But basically, I have loved slide guitar. It's people like Arthur and people like Laura that made me love, I should say, electric guitar. I always loved acoustic, but when it's really played well, electric is an amazing instrument. And anyway, so I loved Resonator. I love that sort of slide delta thing. That's always been my vibe. And I basically walked into a music store here in Pennsylvania and was like, I want a Resonator. I don't play slide. I want to. And I hear good things about these. So this is a Republic Resonator. And I love this thing because I think it's Leonard Cohen that says, pick up any instrument, just see what comes out and try and write a song with it. And I've found that that's very true for me. I have no idea how to play guitar and piano and these things, but you pick them up and things kind of fall out. And this next song is totally a product of something like that. I happen to be in upstate New York writing my second record, and I just had this like little riff. I just had this riff, and
That was it, what you just played there?
that was it. And I was like, oh, okay, I gotta turn this into a song. And it became one of my favorite songs that I've written so far. Possibly Bloodhound on the new record might beat it, but I still really love this song. And it's mostly because it's just about going through a difficult time and just plugging away. I mean, you keep going because you know there's an end to it. And I know it's very appropriate for all of us in this time, especially music industry, all of us, This will end at some point, and I know everybody is starving for live music. And, so this is sort of my song for that. It's called When It Don't Come Easy.
Well, real quick, since you played us that lick, can you take us, like, what was the step after that? So you come up with the lick.
Yeah.
What's the next one?
It was just the open strumming kind of thing.
Right.
I had that. That was pretty much it. And then I couldn't sing and play it at the same time, so I recorded it on my phone and then started writing lyrics to it.
Wow.
Yeah. It was cool.
Very nice. Now, I'm not hearing you there, Vanessa.
Yeah, I realized the master is down on the amp. Yeah.
You want me to do something? You want me to come get it?
I got it.
All right.
Thank you, sir. Very kind of you to offer to come all the way from the sound booth.
It's all right. I got a mask. I could do it.
Yeah. Should be hearing me now, I think.
Yes, beautiful.
Excellent. All right. Ready? 1, 2. When it don't come easy, be the river running through. When it don't come easy, nobody's gonna save you. Well down the mountains, whittle down the earth, tough as it may seem, when it don't come easy, oh, the river keeps running downstream. There's a hook-nosed man hiding in the craters of the moon. He's been aiming his spotlight at all my faults. I try to slip in between the slats of the light, but I'm having no luck at all. So I'm busy wasting my time, staring back at the past, falling behind. Now I'm dancing alone in the graphite night. On the midnight haze, it whispers high. I strain to listen, and I meet my shadow saying, when it don't come easy, be the river running through. When it don't come easy, nobody's gonna save you. Well down the mountains, when it down the earth, tough as it may seem, when it don't come easy, oh, the river keeps running downstream. I've been sanding down my splintered heart, catching all the sediment of trial and error. It's come to settle like sawdust in my soul. Ooh, ooh. I followed the broken arrow that pointed down the darkened arrow. Now I'm dancing alone in the graphite night. On the midnight haze, it whispers high. I strain to listen, and I meet my shadow saying, when it don't come easy, be the river running through. Oh, it won't come easy, no, no. a river, I just won't be restrained.
Oh, very nice. When it don't come easy.
You got it, Arthur Nielsen.
And that is on Vanessa's album, Meeting My Shadow. You know, you did all right for somebody who doesn't play the guitar. Know what I'm saying?
Yeah, thank you.
So, wait a minute. So tell me what that means. When you say you don't play guitar and yet you can play the guitar, what do you mean?
Well, I don't play the guitar like he does.
Oh, you don't play like he does.
So what's wrong with me? Come on.
Well, so now when
That's why I can't say I'm sitting next to this guy. You know.
So when you get an inspiration like that and you start picking it out, like, do you ever go to one of your guitar player friends and say, "All right, show me a little something. I want to."
Oh, totally.
Okay.
Yeah. He showed me a lot. Laura showed me a lot. I mean, Chris Fiorello has showed me. Everybody. I'm just kind of like, teach me, please.
Right.
I don't know what this is. I know 3 different chord forms, and that's probably it. So show me something.
That's great.
Yeah.
And what other instruments have you just picked up in a fit of passion?
You know, I studied with this guy, Chris Fidala.
Saxophone player?
Yeah.
Chuck Mangione?
Yeah, you got it.
I know Chris Fidala.
Look at you. All right.
I was a sax player too. Though.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I forgot that. So I just by a stroke of luck, my middle school band director knew him.
Oh, wow.
And he was like, "You got to hear this kid," and he bugged him for just for me to get like a trial lesson. This was like 6th or 7th grade.
No kidding.
Yeah, and you know, he took me on as a student, and I got to study with him for 7 years, and we did classical stuff, you know, jazz stuff, funk stuff. He was kind of like my intro into, oh, you can do this as a career. And into teaching as well. He said, you know, most players are going to have to teach as well, so I got to do that. And I forgot the rest of your question, honestly.
Oh, that's all right. You can keep talking about Chris Fidala. That's fine.
I got wrapped up in that world.
No, I was
amazing.
asking you about the you know, when a song falls out of an instrument, you know, what other instruments have
That's where I was
songs
going, yeah.
fallen out of, and then and then have you proceeded to then develop your skills on that instrument?
Piano's been one.
Okay.
I've been studying with like a guy that played with the Marine Band for 25 years.
Cool.
And played for 4 presidential administrations.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he's really
Oh
dope.
my gosh.
He's got a lot of stories. And an incredible teacher. I've also picked up flute and clarinet because of Chris. He
I
said
see.
you got to double. So
What does that mean? Got a double.
So being a saxophone player in the world, if you're going to plan to do that as a career, most of the time you're not going to get an orchestral gig playing saxophone. That's very rare. So you have to be able to, and if you want to do pit work as well, so theater stuff. So you have to be able to read on various instruments. So usually it's the single reeds, so flute and clarinet, and then they make you play flute as well, sometimes oboe and bassoon. Those I didn't learn, but flute and clarinet were part of my education. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and then I just play for fun. So I pick up bass and drums for fun, but I don't say that I play them.
Well, that's now. Let's see. Does exploring those other instruments? Does it all kind of come back and like influence each other? Does your playing change?
Totally. Yeah.
As you develop skills on another instrument?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think you know, a good example of this is Sweating Like a Pig, Singing Like an Angel off the Honey Up record.
Yeah.
is I had, I listened and I love New Orleans music, and a lot of that is left-hand piano work. And I was like, oh man, I have this idea. I can't play the left and the right hand together. But I was like, oh, I'll record the left hand, record the right hand, and the pianist will be able to
Right.
take it to the next level.
Of putting them together.
Exactly, like the left and the right hand. But that's one that I've worked on, and because of how you have to play music, like to get theoretical slide between the minor third and the major third, like in the left hand kind of stuff. It's now made me able to walk bass lines on saxophone much easier in outlined chord forms, and I hear things differently as well. So it's been great.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Let me show you some of these comments.
Cool.
Charles Collier, any relation?
That's my grandpa.
Your
Yeah.
grandpa says that that song was one of his favorites.
Oh, that's awesome. Good stuff.
Let's see. A lot of people actually saying that was one of their favorite songs. Bill Slade's that a finger-picked steel and great blues voice cannot be beat. Absolutely the best. That was great. Absolutely the best.
Thank you.
A lot of love. I mean, you get the point. Everybody's like digging this big time.
Loving y'all too.
Let's give them some more music.
All right, good stuff. So I think we were talking about this the other day. I was reminding Arthur of this moment, because the first gig that we played together was a duo gig, similar, and we had never really met before because I opened for Shamika, and I sat and watched you play. I don't know what song it is, but you guys do this duo song, and you guys sit down and. Yeah. Oh, man. I was sitting in the Hamilton just like, Laura, he's so good.
Say that in the mic, Arthur. What'd you say? We didn't hear you.
Beat up old guitar.
Song, yes, a Shamika song that was written about her dad called "Beat Up Old Guitar,"
gotcha.
and I play a dobro on it as well. Yeah.
Nice.
It's so good. So I got caught up with that, and then I was just like, oh, I had some gigs coming up that I didn't have a guitar player for, and I was kind of like, do you think he'd do it? I just love his playing so much. And she's like, you got to ask him. So anyway, we had these duo gigs in Pennsylvania.
She sent me a list of 35 songs to learn to play as a duet when we never played together before.
Yeah.
I called her up. I said, we have to cut this list down.
Wow.
But one of the tunes on the list is a T-Bone Walker song, and I love it with the full band because, you get the drum shuffle, man. There's nothing that beats it. But then I'm playing this thing duo with him, and I'm like, oh my gosh, the way he plays this is so cool. So we have to play it. So this is the T-Bone Shuffle duo version. Sorry, one. Let your head down, baby. Let's have a natural bond. Let your hair down, baby. Let's have a natural bond. If you can't let your hair down, we can't have no fun at all. Well, I said you can't take it with you. That's one thing's for sure. No, I said you can't take it with you. That's one thing's for sure. Well, but there ain't nothing in this whole wide world a T-Bone Shuffle sure can cure. Come on now. That's one thing that's for sure. Hey, I said you can take it with you. That's one thing's for sure. Well, but there ain't nothing in this whole wide world a T-bone shuffle sure can't cure. Hey.
Boy, was that cool! I've never heard a saxophone walk a bass line before.
I try. I love it.
Very cool.
I'm just like, I wish I had a lower voice. It'd be
Now,
great.
now, if you guys were doing that with a full band arrangement, how would your parts have been different there? Like, so Arthur, what would you have been doing instead of what you just played?
Well, what I was doing here was kind of playing a bass and guitar
Uh-huh.
rhythm together. So I'm doing the bass and the kind of like left hand, right hand on piano.
'Cause he's a
almost.
beast.
So if the bass player was doing that, I would be just comping chords, and I would also double the melody with her.
I see.
And we have a little dance routine that we do when I do that too.
Very good.
That's great.
Go get along on the front edge of the stage and kind of rock your instruments back and forth.
Exactly.
Like a metal band.
100%. Yeah, that's it.
So cool, guys.
Gotta make sure I don't put that in front of the camera. Yeah. Ready for the next one? So everybody that's kind of seen us live, I talk about how big of a fan of Bonnie Raitt I am. And, of course, I love the stuff, I Can't Make You Love Me is just a gorgeous song, written beautifully as well. And then I got gifted kind of Bonnie Raitt's first couple of records, and I found her Delta and New Orleans in the funkier side. And I also got gifted this other record that was recorded in Philly in 1972. And it's not a super well-known record, but there's a song on here written about a blender that Bonnie wrote. And I just find the words to be so funny. So we're going to do that one for you now. It's called the Blender Blues.
Say a blender?
Blender.
Like a smoothie?
Blender. Yeah, exactly. That's why I never knew. Let me be on blender, baby. Don't you know I can whip, chop, and puree? Don't you let me be on blender, baby. Don't you know I can whip, chop, and puree? I wanna whip you to a jelly. Wanna chop you up today. Idleness so special, honey, gives you everything you need. It's guaranteed to blend it right. It's built for comfort, not for speed. My motor's most unique. There's a style for every size. Push the right track, honey, sit back and watch me as to rise. Let me be your blender, baby. Don't you know I can whip, chop, grate, cube, and puree? That's right. I wanna whip you to a jelly. Wanna chop you up today. If you bring the make any sauce you choose. A hollandaise or a mayonnaise, any recipe you use. I can whip some waffle batter, I can blend some dough for buns. And if we get done blending it up, might even get some cooking done. Let me be your blender, baby. I got a cookbook all my own. I call it 1,001 ways, baby, to make my little mother moan. Come on, Arthur. Start off slow and easy, honey. Get up to a fine puree. If you work those gears just right, we'll make a real love souffle. My motor never quits. I don't know how long you're gonna last. Push the right track, honey. Sit back and watch me rise. Oh, let me be your blender, baby. I'll whip the freshest cream in town. Don't you know what they're saying about me, baby? Can no one bear my wearing down? Hey. Yeah. Ooh.
Oh, that was a little spicy.
Yes, a little bit spicy. Everything nice.
Well, I'll tell you what, guys. That's as good a segue as any. Here on Soundbooth Sessions, we have this little segment that we occasionally do because I've found that musicians, if there's one thing that they love as much or more than music, it's food. And so this is a little segment. It's called "Tell Me Something Food." And thank you for laughing at that. I appreciate it. Oh, Robbie gave me a thumbs down. A stern thumbs down from the cameraman. Okay, so question for both of you. Here in these quarantine times and pandemic times, what new kitchen skill or recipe have you been developing or trying?
I've just been trying everything.
Define everything.
Well, we buy a lot of chicken. I buy a lot of chicken, fish. I don't eat red meat, so I buy a lot of chicken and a lot of fish.
Okay.
Chicken's a lot cheaper, so we wind up buying a lot more chicken. So I'm thinking about writing a song, 50 ways to cook your chicken. There must be 50 ways. Anyway, I go through the refrigerator, I go through the cabinets, and I just find whatever spice or, if I find some taco sauce, I use it as a thing on top of chicken. If I find, I don't know, a little jar of some olive tapenade kind of thing, I use that as anything I can find that's different than just cooking chicken up the same way every night. Mm-hmm. And I just try to do things differently. I've gotten better at steaming my vegetables.
Okay.
I don't overcook them as much. It's better if you don't put the lid on. Yeah, it cooks them without, and they still have their crunch. I like them with a little bit of fresh crunch.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just try to come up with interesting things. So nothing new, but just it's a challenge every night to say, okay, how can I make the tuna sticks tonight? How can I make this? How can I do that?
How can I make this chicken not boring tonight?
Yeah. It's not only chicken, but it seems like chicken is. It's like chicken. We have tuna one night, chicken. Then we have some I don't know, flounder or something, then chicken. Then we'll have shrimp, then we'll have chicken. So it's like that, you know.
Works. Yeah.
It's cool.
What about you, Vanessa?
Well, I joined the sourdough bread craze.
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. She made me a loaf of that bread yesterday, and we already
And?
ate half of it. We
Oh,
ate
that's
we
awesome.
ate about a quarter of it last night when we got home. And,
Well done.
The rest of it at breakfast. This
That's like a
morning.
quarantine
Yeah.
rite
It's
of
good.
passage.
Right, absolutely. Yeah. It's I got a book from Tartine, which is a bakery in San Francisco, and they walk you through the steps, and I was like, okay, cool, here we go. So I've been
Nice.
making it like once a week, you know, and I always have too many loaves, so it was nice to see Arthur and be like, hey, here you go. It
Appreciate
was
it.
awesome. But I've been working on a farm. It's like to not go crazy. That's kind of, I wanted
Interesting.
to go and get physical. And there's a local CSA, and I've been working there a couple days a week, just volunteering and, wheel hoeing and harvesting stuff. And
Excellent.
anything. And so we're also part of the CSA. So we come home with a bunch of veggies and, I just figure out different ways to cook them. So my favorite past week was fresh lima beans. I had never had fresh lima beans. So that was good.
How did you prepare them?
Just with some butter. You just steam them and
Yeah,
throw
why
some
not?
butter on them, right?
Slap some butter on it.
Yeah. And then same thing. I've been pan-searing some fish. So we have halibut's one of my favorites. So I pan-sear it and put a lemon beurre blanc sauce on it, or
I can't
I
find,
did salsa the
I
other
can't
day.
find
Uh-oh.
halibut.
Upper Blanc.
Where I've been shopping.
Yeah, it's frozen from like the West Coast.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's pretty good. I can send you a link.
Is that a French one of the sauces? Upper
Oui,
Blanc?
bien sûr.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You speak French too?
I'm trying.
Wow.
Un petit peu.
Un petit peu. Je parle un petit peu.
So do you have your own home garden, or are you just part of this CSA?
So I try, yes.
Yeah. Any success with your crops this year?
Basil is like out the
Oh, yeah.
wazoo. Yeah, basil, and I have some hot peppers as well. The tomatoes I planted too late, so didn't get any tomatoes,
bummer.
at least yet. But
What kind of hot peppers?
Hungarian wax peppers.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Those are serious. Where do they fall on the Scoville scale?
Oh, I have no idea. They're okay. They're like a jalapeno to me. but
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can pop them?
Yeah.
All right. Very nice.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. Next question. When you send your hospitality rider ahead, what's the, pandemic times notwithstanding, what's the item that when you walk back there, you absolutely have to see in order to put on a good show?
That's
For
a
me,
good
it's
question.
fruit.
Fruit.
fruit's
I
a
always
good
like
one.
when there's strawberries and blueberries,
That's so true. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
because that's hard to get on the road.
I enjoy that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm good with fruit, veggie plate. I also love if people will buy the kombucha. That's always a fun one.
Good
I've
one.
gotten gifted a few from here. Tina, I think. Yeah, I've gotten gifted a few.
Some good booches.
Yes.
And coffee, if there's good coffee.
Coffee.
back
Yeah.
there.
Coffee's a
Did
big
you
one.
find good coffee, by the way?
Yes, I did. And they
Arthur?
didn't even charge me.
Right next door at the
Sweet.
Washington House restaurant?
Hey, now.
Shout out to the coffee at the Wash.
What up?
That's interesting. As the person over here at the theater who reads the contracts and goes through the hospitality riders, I find that you artists, you musicians, know the trends. So like I can watch the food trends
Yeah,
coming
totally.
through the hospital. So kombucha was one of those
Oh,
things
yeah.
that came
Oh,
on
yeah.
real hard.
Oh, yeah.
And there was a hummus craze a few years
Oh,
ago.
yeah. Totally.
Hummus craze of 2015 and
Have you had honey? Because that is
Honey.
one I put on there. It's like a local honey.
local honey. That's
Yeah.
right. Now is that an allergy thing for you? Have you had
Yeah,
that?
I mean, I don't generally have allergies, but if I'm traveling, I'd rather have something that's local anyway,
Right.
and experience that. But also, if I do happen to have any allergies, it's right there. There you go.
It helps you.
It does.
Well, very good. What was my other food question? Oh yeah, what's your when you're trying to impress someone? When you're trying to impress someone, what's your go-to recipe?
I think mine's the halibut. I've worked on it for a while, so the halibut with the beurre blanc is good.
That's
Yeah.
pretty baller.
Well, the only person I impress is my wife. And she loves shrimp, so if I make her shrimp, she's always happy.
Excellent. Well, thank you guys. Thank you for playing. Tell me something, food. All right.
Anytime.
Can we hear some more music from the new record?
Absolutely. So this next one is a song that I set out to write for my sisters. I have 3 younger sisters. They're 13, 11, and 8. So definitely 2 are in the middle school realm, and nobody likes middle school. I think we can all agree. I don't think I've met anyone that does. And it's just because it's such an awkward time and everything's changing, and, you tend to go through this like insecurity phase during those times. And so this is my song to them about, just know that you're beautiful no matter what, and just you'll get through everything, and just be strong. So this is what makes you beautiful. You look in the mirror and only see your flaws. You hate the gap in your teeth. You hate the way that your thighs touch. Oh, girl, you're just like me. And I know it gets hard sometimes. And I know people try to bring you down. But if there's one thing that I know you can't hide, what makes you beautiful? No. You twist your hair around your fingers, trying to get that curl that the cool kids do. You try to cover up your freckles with makeup. Oh, girl, you should just be you. And I know it gets hard sometimes, and I know people try to bring you down. But if there's one thing that I know you can hide, what makes you beautiful? No, 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 no. And sometimes they might convince you that you should doubt yourself. But I hope that you'll remember that little voice inside. Let it loose and give 'em hell. And I know it gets hard sometimes, and I know people try to bring you down. But if there's one thing that I know you can hide, I know it gets hard sometimes, and I know people try to bring you down. But if there's one thing that I know you can hide, what makes you beautiful? No, 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 no. What makes you beautiful? What makes you beautiful? What makes you beautiful? Now you, yeah. What makes you?
Thank you for that song. That needed to be written.
Yeah,
Thank you for that.
Little BB. When love comes to town. When love comes to town. Yeah, I love this one. Little BB King. falter, I could turn on the thread. Now I stand accused of the things I said. When love comes in town, I'm gonna jump that train. When love comes in town, I'm gonna catch that plane. Maybe I was wrong to ever let you down, but I did what I did before love came to town. Sunset, I was making promises I was soon to forget. I was as pale as the lace on my wedding gown, and I left him standing before love came to town. I ran into the juke joint when I heard the guitar scream. Nose was turning blue, I was lazing in a dream. As the music played, I tell my life turned around. But that was the day before love came to town. When love comes to town, I'm gonna jump that train. When love comes to town, I'm gonna catch that plane. Maybe I was wrong to ever let you down, but I did what I did before love came to town.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the wonderful sounds of Vanessa Collier, joined by Arthur Nielsen on guitar. I'm sure you're enjoying the show as much as I am. I am absolutely loving this. The comment section is ablaze. I see flames, I see hearts, I see claps. Great stuff, good stuff. That was hot. Somebody said that was hot. A lot of wows during that last one. This is fantastic. Friends in the comments section, please, I know you're enjoying this. Please head on over to the links for Vanessa's Venmo and PayPal and show your appreciation in there as well. Thank you very much. Certainly appreciate that. Vanessa, listen, you are one hell of a performer, and I have read and heard you refer to yourself as an introvert. How do you square those things? Do you have is it an alter ego situation?
Yes. Yes.
Arthur
He
says yes.
yes. Yeah, I mean, I think my saxophone has always been my voice, so it's not that I don't have anything to say, and it's not that I'm necessarily quiet. It's just, it's more how I get my energy back, you know, and I think that's, I tend to get more energy by being alone than being in a big group of people. So that's more of how I think about it. And, you know, I've been surprised to find that there's so many artists that are introverts, you know. It's kind of cool.
So is your showmanship something that you've had to learn and develop, I imagine?
Absolutely, yeah. You know, I went to college in Boston, and one of the classes that I took was a stage performance class.
Oh.
With Livingston Taylor taught it. And
shout out to Liv Taylor.
Shout out to Liv Taylor, because he taught me some things just that helped me bring, you know, the inner me out, if in a physical sense, you know, just talking about taking up space on stage, and that it's your right to do so as an artist, you know. And that helped me a lot over the years. And then one thing in particular that he talks about is watching your lyric land. So whether it's your lyric or somebody else's, you're going to look somebody in the face and finish, you know, look somebody in the eyes and finish the line to them and just deliver it, you know. And it's something that I do in my shows, is I'm trying to connect with everybody in the audience and look at them, and, you know, hopefully everyone in the room will feel connected, you know. That's my goal at the end.
Wow. Well, I'll tell Robbie's story for him. Robbie right there, who's man in the camera, went and saw you, and he still talks about how one time you came out into the audience playing your sax, and you sat down right in front of him, and you played a solo right in his face.
Yeah. Thank you.
So I'm wondering how has that developed? As you look back over your performing career, like what things have you gotten better at, like in terms of connecting?
Well, I think at the beginning, you know, I didn't know how to let everybody else shine and also step into the light on my own. You know, I'm very happy. This goes for basketball. I played basketball too, and I was always happy to be the point guard. I'm always happy to be the assist, and I feel that way as a band leader. I'm happy to be here and feature the amazing musicians that I get to play with. And you know, it took a while for me to figure out, like, okay, it's not wrong if it's my band to take 5 choruses on this one. You know what I mean? And just not. I now am not afraid to take up space and to state who I am, and just, like, you know, it's okay, regardless of what happens. You know, I just feel very strong and very confident up here. Just that's what the road does too. Right. You know, regardless of anybody's listening, you're here doing your thing.
Right. And now how do you tailor it for the different performing spaces? I mean, over your career, I imagine you've performed in all manner of places, and now where there's a virtual audience, like what are you doing to try to find that connection?
Yeah.
Even in this weirdness.
Yeah. I think, you know, I've done a couple live streams from home of doing some of this material, some of the stuff from the new record, and kind of more like I would prepare a demo for the band. Is here's how I play this tune, you know, and that's been a lot of fun because I record the guitar or the piano part, and then I'll go back and record the saxophone over top. So I kind of get to be my own little rhythm section and band. And that's been really fun to try and just put out there and just keep everybody connected. I know a lot of my fans were kind of like, hey, you know, what's going on? Because it took me a month or so to do that. And I was like, oh, I'm putting it together. But it just, with the layering and not being able to like really play and sing a ton of songs on, you know, chordal instruments, I think that's kind of what I've been doing, is just trying to layer on top and make it fun. And then, you know, I hope that people feel my heart through the internet, you know. That's the hope. So.
Well, I can tell you, Gary Kendall just replied, yes, we feel connected.
Oh, good. Thank
so
you,
it's
Gary.
working.
Glad you're tuned in.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's adjustment for everybody.
Absolutely. Yeah. I got to grab this slide. I forgot.
Now, how do you have this guitar tuned here? Is this a dobro? No, this is the resonator.
Resonator, yeah. This is just a tricone. So instead of the one cone in there, there's three. Makes it sound bigger to me. Much richer. And this one, you know, I said most of the guitars I have are impulse buys. That one had gotten broken on a flight, and it was the Tampa Bay, I think, Tampa Bay Blues Fest last year. Where there was a guy down there that offered me basically this guitar. He had it set up and whatever, and I was like, oh man, this thing's heavy and huge. And then I played it, and it was beautiful. Just sounded amazing. And so of course I went home and I was like, I wonder if I can find one of those. Those sound great. They're awesome. So I did. Same music store, and I bought this one, and just as a backup, honestly. And then this is tuned to open D flat. It's just a little slanky, and it's perfect for the next. Yeah, perfect for the next tune.
And did this next song fall out of this guitar?
Yeah, pretty much. I remember that it started in November, maybe November of last year, November the year before, I think. I was playing saxophone on somebody else's gig, and I happened to have my resonator, and I just started playing sort of like right, and I have this on a voice memo, and then I start singing along, and then I was like, man, I love the country blues stuff, the sort of stuff that features janky sounding kind of instruments, you know. And so I had this idea of a story just about a guy who can't seem to get away from trouble. He's drawn to it. So it's sort of the bloodhound on his trail is the line.
Oh.
Yeah. It's fun.
And this is on your upcoming album.
Yes.
Or the current.
Yes,
excuse me,
it's on the
current.
new record. So
The
it's
new
been
record,
fun.
Heart on the Line.
Gotta get comfortable with this. All right. Let's try it.
New record available now.
Been waiting on the sunset to crack before he gets out of town. Been watching the yolk of the sun spread out as the colors start to run down. Little does he know they've got him cornered now. He'll be sitting sitting on the porch, sitting on the rail, chewing his tobacco and spitting in his pail. Sitting on the porch, sitting on the rail, shining up his shoes with the bloodhound on his trail. He's been serving his time down in New Orleans. Been working for the warden, trying to keep his nose clean. Spent the past 5 years thinking about his girl. Just found out he's getting early release. He'll be sitting on the porch, sitting on the rail, chewing his tobacco and spitting in his pail. Sitting on the porch, sitting on the rail, shining up his shoes with the bloodhound on his tail. In his wrinkles as deep as his thoughts, where the lines of worry and wonder cross, missing the chase and the hounds of the beast, rocking in his favorite chair, trouble wafting in on the southern breeze. He'll be sitting on the porch, sitting on the rail, chewing his tobacco and spitting in his pail. Sitting on the porch, sitting on the rail, smiles as he listens to the bloodhound on his trail.
Oh, slanky.
Yeah. All right. So I've lived in the Northeast most of my life, which has been cool. We started in Hershey, Pennsylvania for a year, and that was awesome because I got to smell chocolate all the way on my way to school. Can't beat that. And then we moved to Columbia, Maryland, which is where I went to grade school, 3rd grade through basically freshman year of college. And but I noticed I was actually born in Texas. I was born near Grapevine, Texas, which is in between Dallas and Fort Worth. And I grew up hearing a lot of sayings. Fixin' to is a big one. It's one of my favorites. Fixin' to go to the store, fixin' to do something. It's always a favorite of mine. But one of my other favorites is bless your heart, because you never know. You can only tell by the tone of how someone says it, the way that they mean it. You know, because it can be, bless your heart, you're the sweetest thing, or it can be, oh gosh, bless your heart. Like you just have no idea what's going on. And so I kind of wrote this song, "Bless Your Heart," about I don't know, just playing with that a little bit about which bless your heart I mean. So I hope you enjoy this one. Bless your heart. One, two, Don't call me sweetheart, don't call me baby, don't call me anything but You think you're fine as a cherry pie, all sweet tea and sugar lips. But when you saunter over, that sly look on your face, well, I'm fixing to leave before I hear what you have to say. There's a saying in the South, and it sounds real sweet. Bless your heart, young boy. There's a saying in the South, and it sounds real sweet. Bless your heart, young boy. Just think I'm pretty as a peach, innocent and kind. But don't you underestimate me when you can't tell what's on my mind. No, there's a saying in the South, and it sounds real sweet. Bless your heart, you boy. There's a saying in the South, and it sounds real sweet. Bless your heart, your poor friend. Bless your heart. Your poor friend. Oh, honey, your poor thing. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Bless your heart. Off Honey Up, a great album. So, Vanessa, you have mentioned very many very interesting things that you have learned and taught yourself, from different instruments to French to gardening to... So, are you sort of committed to this continual learning thing? Is this something you do intentionally, with intention?
Yeah, totally. I think I just have this knack. I kind of want to know how things work. Honestly, at one point I thought I was going to go and like be an engineer of some sort, because I love to take things apart and like, oh, how's that? Can I put it back together? So it's very much part of my nature, is just how to to figure out how things work, how other people do them. I think about this all the time when I'm listening to music, and when I'm with musicians that are amazing like Arthur's. Like, how do you think through a song? How does that brain work, versus my own, and what can I learn from people like that?
That's a great quality.
Thank you.
So do you have a routine to be able to do so many things?
I think they kind of like wax and wane, Like at the beginning of this, I was like, I'm gonna be fluent in French in 6 months. It's gonna happen, and I was great for a couple months of listening and practicing, and I think it's falling, it's falling off.
Falling.
Yeah, but I think these things are progressive. I have the same thing with piano. I just kind of sit down when I'm feeling it, and hopefully I'll learn something new every time.
Gotcha. You don't have like a writing schedule, routine?
I did. I haven't been on it for a minute. I did have a thing where I was writing these things called morning pages. It's part of Julia Cameron's book, The Artist's Way.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like 30 minutes of just writing whatever you have, whatever's right there. You just write it down. You never read it again. It's just there. And then I'd follow that up with like a 10-minute object write, which is something that I learned from a songwriting teacher in college. Of you pick an object and you write sense bound, so your sight, touch, taste, smell, whatever. And what you find is that whatever object, it can be completely boring. It can be the pencil right there, but you can take yourself to the ticking of a clock in a classroom as you're taking a test, or those things can become very visceral, I think is the word. And that's how your writing gets better, because he has this metaphor of your first line should be a bag of dye that drips down through the rest of the verse.
Oh my goodness!
Right? I mean, it's just stuff like that. So being around writers, that's it's awesome.
No, wait. What form does that writing take? Is it prose? Is it poetry? Is it the lines of?
It can be either. It can be anything, honestly. But generally, for me, I write them in sentence form, and it's just very much jumping from sense to sense. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, they're really fun to try. I recommend them to anybody, even if you don't feel like you write. It's like a way. What I find is that when I do them, when I'm in the process of, that's my daily routine, then I walk around the world differently. It's like, oh, that could be this story, and that could be, it just sparks so many ideas when you're thinking sense-bound rather than almost logic,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
Would it be too on the spot to ask you to demonstrate it?
Oh, man.
Yes,
that's where my introversion comes in.
Yes is the answer.
But had we talked about this before, maybe we'll do it next time. No, not at all. I have a book of them. So, I read one about, one of my favorites is about popcorn. I wish I remembered it. Yeah. I can rap for you. No, I'm just kidding.
That's
totally
fantastic.
kidding.
And how do you keep track of your schedule? I mean, it seems like you got so many things going on. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm late to everything that's not a gig, probably. But no, I think I look at every day and I just kind of like try and everything takes priority on different days.
Yeah.
So when I was working on the record, it was like I was coming home and that's what I was doing, is I was cleaning up the session and then like writing the horn parts,
Mm-hmm.
Then the vocals took priority, then whatever the next project was. I was like, oh, I'm gonna go work on a farm, sure. Oh, yoga. By the way, my yoga teacher might be watching, but I started doing yoga like 4 days a week. So it's just, you find time to do things that you love, and I don't need to sleep that much.
Well, with all this, are you headed in a specific direction? Like, do you have a destination in mind of like a 5-year goal? I want to do this, and this.
Funnily enough, I don't really work that way. I don't think that way most of the time. I have things that I would love to do. I'd love to play Red Rocks at some point.
Beautiful
and I love,
place.
yeah, right? And one of my favorite records is actually the Amos Lee record where he used the Colorado Symphony. So I would love to do some of this stuff with that setup would be cool. Or even just the 11, 12-piece band that I did for Honey Up. So that's a big thing. I would love to hit most of the countries in the world that you can go to. But other than that, the only thing that I have like 5-year goal is, do you know Ron Finley at all?
I don't.
Okay, so he's the gangster gardener from L.A., and he basically started this movement of the little patches of grass in between someone's property and the street, turned it into a garden. So, and in these food deserts. And I know, like, I live close to Chester County, which I know they consider a food desert. And I would love to get something started with them in the next 5 years. So that's partly why I'm going to the farm and learning and trying to make connections with people that are in this, because, you know, I obviously am going to be a musician, hopefully, for a long time. So I would love to get it started and then have a group of people that really love and care about it and can take care of it while I'm not here, while I'm on the road. Yeah.
Wonderful goal.
Thank you.
Well, we'll schedule another Soundbooth session in 5 years, and we'll
Beautiful.
look back and we'll check
see if
up
it
on,
happens.
on how you're doing.
And I'll do an object right reading for you then.
Excellent.
Good. All right. So the next one is a crowd favorite. It's one of my mom's favorites. I think it is my mom's favorite. And it's I love to read. I grew up reading, spending a lot of time doing that and watching TV, but a lot of reading too. And two of my favorite books growing up, the first one is To Kill a Mockingbird, which I know everybody finds is relevant today. And I love the character of Atticus Finch, because he's having to defend someone that the whole county doesn't want him to. And he does it because it's the right thing, not because it's the popular thing. And I just think that shows a lot of character and integrity. And I love people that, regardless, they stand up and they say something. And they point out things that they think are wrong. And my second story is from Icarus, from Greek mythology. And I kind of reimagined his story, because the Greek myth is quite depressing. But I imagined him as sort of a 3-year-old redheaded kid, just dreaming of flying towards the sun, and sort of as a message, partly to my sisters, partly to anybody at this point, to chase your dreams and follow your heart, and you'll be very happy doing that. So this is Icarus. Mm-hmm. Little Icarus with his crayons in his hair, coloring in the lines real neat. His cherry soda pop curls bouncing about, his head filling up with all kinds of dreams. He said, I want to be bolder than an eagle. Yes, I want to be smarter than Atticus Finch. When I grow up, I want to wrestle on the sun, and I won't give up an inch. So I said, fly, little Icarus, fly. Fly, little Icarus, fly. Keep dreaming big and send your wings on the sky. And fly. Made some wings out of wax, feathers, and crazy glue. Started flopping like a ground bird in his front yard. All his neighbors pointed and laughed, thinking him a fool, telling him he's too avant-garde. He said, I want to be bolder than an eagle. Yes, I want to be smarter than Atticus Finch. When I grow up, I want to wrestle on the sun, and I won't give up an inch. So I said, fly, little Icarus, fly. Fly, little Icarus, fly. finally got off the ground. He flew a little too close to the sun. What's left of his hair melted with the wax on his wings. He started falling like a star burning out. He said, I might be bolder than an eagle. Yes, don't know if I'm smarter than Atticus Finch, but I sure as heck did wrestle that sun. I never did give up that inch. So I said, fly, little licorice, fly. Fly, little licorice, fly. Keep dreaming big and send your wings on the sky. And fly, little licorice, fly.
Oh, love that breakdown.
Yeah. Inspired by the Wood Brothers. Come on, man.
Oh, they're the best. We never did talk about them, but that's all right.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, this comment section is a very happy place.
Good.
We've got the Billtown Blues Association watching and enjoying. Much love to you, Vanessa.
Much
placing
love
an,
back.
placing an order for the new release. Thank you. Follow that example, folks. Head on over to VanessaCollier.com and get yourself a copy of the new record. Nick Viest is saying this is very cool. It's interesting to hear about your creative process. It sure is.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, very good.
That's awesome. What's up, Nick?
Remy Singh says you are beautiful on the yoga mat.
Oh, thank you.
Is that your yoga
That's my
instructor?
yoga teacher. Yep, absolutely. Hi.
Very nice.
Thanks for watching.
All right. Tom Rathgerber, thank you for doing what you do. All the best wishes. Jürgen Koenig said something in what I can only imagine is German. So I think we're international
Awesome.
today,
Yay.
folks. That's
Beautiful.
fantastic. And Becky Boyle, Icarus is my raspberry jalapeno jam, baby.
Hey.
This song is the best.
That might end up on a shirt of mine sometimes.
That might win best comment of the night.
That's killing. That's awesome.
So Vanessa, listen, tell us, you said you had so many ideas that you needed to finish this record and move on to the next one. What does the future hold for you? What are some of your what's your next big idea?
I have this idea for a duo record that I'd like to do just with Laura Chavez. I made Meeting My Shadow with her was the first record that I made with her, and there's a really cool energy being in the same room and recording with her, and so I'd like to write a record with her and do a duo record. And then there's sort of like a concept record that's also there too. I'm not sure I want to share the idea yet, but I'm very excited about it. Just all the songs would be connected sort of through a common place and a person. So I'm excited to tell those stories.
Can't wait to hear you do it.
Yeah.
Vanessa, take us home. Wait, before you do, tell us about your saxophone. I've been wondering.
Oh, yeah.
Any special stories about where did you get those saxes?
Yeah. So this one, I actually, when I won Horn Player of the Year last year, right before that, probably like a year before that, I had gotten an endorsement offer with Selmer, who I've played ever since I studied with Chris. He was like, "Okay, cool, get this horn." So I've had a Selmer Series 2 for 15 years, and that was what I took out on the road with Joe Louis Walker, and for the first couple of years of my career as well. And so when I won, I was kind of like, well, my one needed to go to the shop, so I took it to the shop, and then I got to go to the factory out in Elkhart and test out like 10 horns. And so I was really interested in the reference series. One, because the finish is beautiful, and that's what my tenor is as well. And they just have a richer tone, more like a vintage horn, and a deeper tone to me, which I always love the deep and the dark. Mm-hmm. The dark stuff is I love dark saxophone sounds. I got this one a couple years ago. This is a Reference 54 series. And it's been cool. It did fall apart on me on a festival gig.
Oh no.
Yeah, I was like, oh shoot, what am I gonna do? And there happened to be a sax tech in the audience that was like, cool, I can fix it. And then the sound guy ended up screwing one of these screws back in for me. So
Amazing.
That's cool. Yeah, it's been good.
What are they made out of? Are they brass?
They are brass, yeah. They I forget what they used. Like the vintage horns are made up of like a couple different alloys, and then I don't know exactly what these are anymore, but I know that they're different. That's why the change in sound, that's why everybody loves a vintage Mark VI or whatever, just because they sound so rich.
Aren't there ones that are made out of like old World War II shells or something?
Oh yeah, to my knowledge, yes. Never played one.
Well, one of the things that I know guitar players get asked a lot is like, what gauge pick and what gauge strings.
Yeah.
So like, what reeds do you play and what size reeds?
So I'm on Rico Jazz Selects, and these are they basically range. So do soft, medium, hard. These are 3 hards, and it's on a Jody Jazz hard rubber mouthpiece. I love hard rubber on alto. And
is that a darker?
It is, yeah. I find the metals to be just a little brighter. A lot of the smooth jazz guys play metal, and they make it work, but they're just too bright for me. And then I've got this wooden ligature, which was a great find in college. I found it on the tenor first, and again, just it all makes it a little bit darker, which I really love. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, same setup on the tenor as well. I just have Rico Jazz Selects and 3 hards on that. Yeah.
Gear talk.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. But saxophonists never get to talk about it.
Well, love it. And what's your microphone? Let's get into it.
This is a Telefunken M80. Yeah.
And on the sax?
Huh? On the sax. Yeah. That's the one. This is an AMT wireless saxophone. It's a small company out of New Jersey, but everybody seems to go for their horns. I mean, as far as a bell mic goes, it's pretty darn awesome.
It sounds great. It's really warm.
Yes.
It's not honky.
Yes. Yeah.
Get a lot of honky ones.
Oh, I know. I had a honky one for a while, and then I found this guy.
Sounds great.
Thank you. Yeah. Last tune, right?
Let's do it. Take us home.
Let's do it.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you so much. Dan in the booth, you're doing an awesome job emceeing this thing, dude.
You're very kind.
It's a pleasure to finally meet you. And thank you, Robbie,
Indeed.
as well. And please thank the master over here, Mr. Arthur Nielsen. It's been a pleasure.
Fantastic.
We're in Alexandria tomorrow night, so if anybody's down for a drive, if you're close by, we're at the Birchmere, which is... it's kind of a dream of mine. I've been wanting to play that place, and so I'm excited. With an audience tomorrow, yeah. I don't know what I'm going to do. It'll be great.
That'll be great.
Yeah.
No, I was going to say, and we've also, I'll say it, we've also emailed Shamika, so maybe we can get Arthur back here with Shamika. Shout out.
Totally.
On the spot, Shamika Copeland. You've been called out.
I will come to that show for sure. So we're going to end, I love to end my shows celebrating my mom because she's the whole reason why I'm up here. And I feel like she's allowed me to kind of blossom and find my own voice, and that's what an artist needs, somebody to give them enough room to grow with enough guidance to find your way. And she's just an amazing human being, and I could go on for days with all the things that she's done for me. And so I wrote this song. Kind of one of the things that she's done for me is just to teach me that sometimes, you can always be really, really nice and really kind. There's no need to be anything but that. But you also have to assert yourself as well. And I've gotten to watch her do that, and I've learned from her, and now I believe that's part of me as well. So I wrote this song for her, for that in particular, and it's called 2 Pot Sugar, 1 Pot Lime. Well, I rode to the juke joint headed straight for the bar. I said, hey, bartender, I need something strong. Somebody careless has gone and sideswiped my car. You won't believe the day I've had. He said, I got something so good it'll make the stars realign. But watch out, it's 2 parts sugar and 1 part lime. Drove my beat-up Chevy down to my mama's house. She was swinging on the porch, sipping a bourbon stout. I said, Mama, I'm in a rush. Can you make a sweet apple pie? She gave me a bear hug, looked me square in the eye. Just hanging there, honey, is the bottom line. Life is 2 parts sugar, hey, and 1 part lime. My bones, the radio was singing out somebody's deep baritone. Some of mama's pie to brighten my day. Feeling better already, bouncing back is in my DNA. And if there's one thing I've come to find, that I'm 2 parts sugar. Hey, yes, I'm 2 parts sugar. Yeah, I'm 2 parts sugar and 1 part lime.
Oh my goodness, folks. That is our show. Let's say thank you to Vanessa Collier. Thank you to Arthur Nielsen. Thank you both so much. This has been a real delight. I am thrilled. Thank you for being here, everybody in the comments section. You've been wonderful. Let me turn those lights off. That's freaking everybody out. There we go. There we go. Thank you for being here, everybody. This has been great. Please make sure that you make your way over to Vanessa's Venmo and PayPal, and might as well visit the Sellersville Theater Venmo and PayPal while you're there. Thank you for your support. Thank you to our members and our sponsors. If you would like to help the Sellersville Theater keep the lights on and the music playing, please make sure that you consider becoming a member. Our members really make it happen year in and year out, and we need you now more than ever. So thank you very much. And we'll be back next week with more Soundbooth Sessions. Hope to see you there Friday and Saturday night at 9 p.m. This has been great. Thank you so much to Robbie Fisher, who has been doing the camera work. Thank you, Robbie. Thank you to Allison Faga, who's been in the comments as our moderator. And thank you to you for checking this out. Have a great week. Hope it's 2 parts sugar and no parts lime. How about that?
Hey, I like it.
All right. Bye-bye.